I'm Dr. Angela McBurdy of DoctorFlute.com, and today's flute tip is on a controlled airstream. How is your airstream? Do you feel like you control the air? Are you in total control with how it comes out of your embouchure and hits the strike edge? I have students from all abilities, both on the college level down to beginners, and there is a wide range of control there, from no control at all to some control. A controlled airstream is something that allows you to weave a story. It allows you to have mystery, to have dynamic resonance. It allows you to create the story that you're trying to create. Sometimes we don't know that we're not in control of that airstream. Now, I will demonstrate what I mean by not controlled, but it's going to come out much more mechanical and extreme because I have a student who just got into a good music school, and he has this issue, but if you were to hear him play, it's not going to sound exactly like how I'm playing it because it's hard to recreate it. But what I'm going to show you is that the airstream comes in and out on different notes, on passages, and it's not a consistent, steady stream of air throughout a musical line. So let me play a little bit here and see if I can demonstrate that. But remember, it's going to be more, as I tell my students, when I demonstrate something that they do, I always couch it with, I'm going to do this, what you're doing, but it's going to be much more extreme than what you're doing, because then they can hear it better. They can hear what it is they're doing. Okay, so that's an extreme example, but I would probably bet that a lot of you are doing this to some extent, where each note just has a little bit of explosion of air. The air just comes out rather than creating in this case, this opening A. Just hold steady. We just hold that opening A completely steady because I'm in control of the dynamics and the sound. Then I can taper it right off. You need to be in control, and the only way to be in control, what does this always go back to? I feel like everything always goes back to support. What is your support doing? Are you in control of how much air is coming out? If you're not in control, it's probably support that's doing it for you. Now, make sure that your throat is staying open. I had a student who I just couldn't get to figure out what was happening, why her tone wasn't as good as it really should be. She was doing everything right, and we finally figured out her throat is tight. Not something I could see, but I could hear it in her tone. Once she opened up that throat, then all the control that she was learning to have just came through beautifully in the pieces that she was playing. So if I want to create an atmosphere, then I need to control my airstream. By controlling my airstream, I will control the dynamics. So I was in so much control of that and thinking about the atmosphere that I'm trying to create that when I was done, I actually had too much air and I had to let some air out and then take a breath. because I'm controlling it so much. Now, if you've heard Debussy's Afternoon of a Faun, then you know that is absolute control. The current thought is that you don't have to do it in one breath. For all of my life anyway, the goal has been do that in one breath. And it is, for me, it's a really difficult thing. I have to control, if I'm going to play that in one breath, I have to control absolutely every aspect of it. Where do I add vibrato? Where do I change the color? What exact beat do I start putting more dynamic on? All of that, absolute control, or else I wouldn't make it in one breath. Now, I don't know if you're going to win an audition if you take a breath, because I know that's a little bit controversial, whether you need to or not. But it doesn't matter which way you want to go with that, you have to be in control of your air. If you're playing a slow movement, listen to yourself, maybe record yourself and see if you hear any of that undulation. Is your tone coming in and out? Are you getting louder for no apparent reason? If you're getting louder because you want to get louder, that's completely up to you and your musical taste in the piece you're playing. But are you just unknowingly fluctuating your tone and your vibrato? Is it stopping here and it's starting there? Are you in control of that as well? And then play it again and compare the two recordings. One where you're controlling all the way through, and the other one that you started with, which is just the test one where what do you sound like? That's it. Okay, so when you're working on control, it all goes back to breathing. You have to have your pressure built up inside where you are breathing, tightening those muscles, and being in total control with how fast you use that air. That's generally where the problem occurs. Again, all goes back to your support and breathing. If you don't tighten those muscles, you can breathe from your stomach all you want, but if you don't tighten the muscles around your abdomen and your rib cage, then you're not controlling how that air comes out, and then it fluctuates. So it's the tightness built up on those muscles that you control when you're using that air. And then you can create an absolute phenomenal sound and atmosphere and musical line that you're wanting to create. Think Debussy's Syrinx. Total control there. If you're not in control of that sound, it's all over. You're not really creating the idea that Debussy had in mind. So record yourself, listen, and see if you are in control of your tone, or are you fluctuating that airstream? Controlled air, that's where it's at. That's today's flute tip. If you like today's flute tip, press the like button, subscribe, comment below, and share it with your friends.